and welcome to Dealer's Choice. Today it is Series 2, or Season 2, Episode 6. And I know it's been a while since the last one. We have been working together with our new affiliation partners to raise mental health awareness and suicide awareness. So going forward, Dealer's Choice will be raising awareness with, proudly, the camzone.net. That's CAM. It's the campaign against living miserably. It's a leading movement against suicide within the United Kingdom. Every week, 125 people within the UK take their own lives, and CAM exists to change that. Also, we are also working with Aware Ireland. It's kind of the same sort of venture, but they have came to fruition a lot when the light of COVID. A lot of people haven't been living great, haven't had the greatest of time mentally, and it has been tough. As we all know, it's been tough. So going forward, Dealer's Choice will be working together with these two brilliant charities to raise awareness for mental health. Anyway, today, going forward, as I said, it is Season 2, Episode number 6, and today it is the Keith Connolly Show.
Hi, how's it going?
Not bad, Keith, not bad, my friend. How's yourself?
How are you? You're looking well.
Looks can be deceiving. Anyway, long time no speak. A little birdie told me that you've flown the Irish nest and you're now in Thailand?
Yes, I am in Thailand, the land of smiles.
Well, it depends how drunk you are, I suppose. What part of Thailand you in?
I'm in Pattaya.
Pattaya. I've never been. I've heard so many good stories. Pattaya, Bangkok. There's loads of other parts of Thailand. That beautiful country.
Yeah, that's true.
Yourself, born in 1988, an 80s lad like myself. Lucky for you, you're kind of latter 80s. I'm very early 80s, but that's another story. 1988, Dublin. To mother and father, Eamon. Big Rangers fan, I know, Eamon, if you're watching. Good result this year, eh? Good lad. And mother...
I was actually hoping you would bring that up, and he was saying to me, make sure he doesn't mention the Rangers and Celtic team. And there straight away, because, Celtic aren't doing very, very good at the moment.
Well, you know, it's been 9 years of absolute torture and 1 year of bliss. So Father Eamon,
and that's when you decided to do this with me,
that's it, just coincided the magical 55 titles, and we'll get Eamon's lad on and we'll rub it in Eamon's face. So anyway, so born Father Eamon and mother Wilhelmina. That's pronounced right, Wilhelmina?
It's pronounced Wilhelmine, to be precise. It's German, so she has German blood in her. But everyone just calls her, everyone that knows her calls her Wilhelmina.
Wilhelmina. And so that means that you're kind of part German, part Irish?
Yeah. Yeah.
And
don't comment.
So born into the world, as I said, and you grew up. You had two brothers: Christopher, your older brother; Kevin, your younger brother, and you grew up in. Is it Artan?
Yeah. I grew up in Artan.
You married Lara, who just lives. She grew up just not that far from me in Fife. And you have two little boys, Conrad and 4, 8 and 4 year old. 4 is 4.
4 is 4. 4 is 4. Yeah.
And you met in 2012 when you were backpacking in the United States, in Australia.
Yeah, in Sydney, in Australia. Yeah, so we met. I was staying in the Maze Backpackers in Sydney, and Lara was working around the corner in Scruffy Murphy's Irish pub. A lot of people would know if they've been to Sydney. And we kind of had the same kind of friend circles, kind of noticed each other back and forth, but we never really talked. And then one morning, I get home, about 2:30 in the morning, not the most soberest of people, and I went up the 3 floors of my hostel, got into bed, and said to myself, geez, I'd love a smoke. And then I was like, I don't want to go down all the way down the 3 floors to have one. But then I said, I do. So I went down the 3 floors, went outside and was having a smoke. I was talking to one of my friends who worked on reception there. And then next of all, someone jumps on my back. And yeah, it was Lara. She was coming back from work. I think she had a couple of drinks after work, to be polite. And she jumped on my back, and then we just clicked, and we says, do you want to go around the corner to Criterion, which is the 24-hour bar? So we went around there, and yeah, the rest is history.
Rest is history.
So, don't smoke, it's bad for you.
It's bad for your back, by the sound of it.
Yeah.
So that was in 2012. You guys got married in 2015 at a big castle.
Yeah. Trinity Castle in Offaly. Awfully expensive.
Yeah. Now we're started. And as I said, you got two lovely boys, 8 and 4, who are there. Conrad and 4, who are 8 and 4. Christ, I'll get the hang of this. Who are there with you just now, obviously. And
so, just because you said the wedding and then Conrad there, you'd be pleased to know when we were getting married, Conrad was 18 months, and so he was just starting to walk. So Lara thought it'd be a great idea, and Lara's parents, if they got Conrad a kilt. So he walked down the aisle in like his big curly hair and a little kilt. It's adorable. Adorable. I thought you'd like that, seeing as you're Scottish. No.
Oh well, yeah, of course. Any good luck stories and nice stories about that is brilliant, especially the old Scottish heritage. Anybody that's met Lara can tell she's Scottish straight away. I did speak to her just before we went live, and I was like, she's like, how do you know I'm from Fife? I was like, well, we spoke at an event in Dublin many years ago. And she goes, I can't remember that. I must have been drunk. I think we fucking both were, actually. But yeah, lovely girl. Lovely family you have, as you've said. Now,
thank you very much.
You got into poker at an early age. Was this through mother and father getting into poker?
Yeah, so as the kind of most of the Irish poker community would know, my family is very heavily involved in poker. It's gone back years, probably 30 years. My nana played and my mum and dad played. So I was introduced to poker very early on. And then when I became 18, my father and I kind of, because back in school in 17, I had some house games with my friends and stuff, and we self-deal and things like that. But when I was 18, my dad decided, why don't you try and learn how to deal cards, earn some money out of it. So he called Steven McLean, who was a family friend, and he's a big figure in the Irish poker community.
Sure.
So Steven called around to the house, just put in perspective, it was on a Tuesday. He gave me a deck of cards, put a few chips in front of me, taught me how to shuffle. For about a half hour, he taught me the blind structure and stuff like that. So he goes off, and he's just like, you practice away, and I'm not thinking anything. And I was like, all right.
That was a Tuesday.
That was a Tuesday. Thursday, he calls me, and he says, Keith, by the way, the IPO, the International Poker Open, is on tomorrow. If you'd like to deal it. So here's me with about like a half an hour's practice. And I was like, yeah, sure, why not? Didn't know what I was getting myself into at all. So the IPO that year was 2007. It was in the RDS, big massive warehouse and function hall warehouse in the RDS. Yeah. Cement floors, real kind of a raw job, poker tables everywhere. So yeah, started that day. I think I got taken off about 7 different tables. But Stephen just kept showing me into more tables, and I started picking up a bit. And I ended up working a 17.5-hour shift that day.
Oh, so it was a part-time shift then for your first shift?
Yeah.
Any of the dealers that know, might watch or listen to this, will know that a 17.5-hour shift is the norm.
Yeah, I was just about to say, at the time, it was a really long shift, but I didn't know that was going to be the norm. Yeah.
That's it. Yeah, I mean, going forward, it is. I mean, listen, we've all been in it together. We've all been at the end of an 18, 19-hour shift at times. And it's great because you know the person at the left, the person at your right. We're all in it together. There's nobody, you know what I mean? It's just the norm.
Yeah.
Everybody's suffering or everybody's enjoying it, whatever it is. A lot of people moan and groan about it, but if we didn't like it, we wouldn't can do it in the first place. It's for me, I mean, they say that if you enjoy a job, you never work another day in your life. Now, since I started doing the poker job, I've met loads of good people like yourself and other people I could rattle off. And it is, for me, it is the people I work with primarily that make the job easy. The players obviously make the job easier, but primarily the people you work with is brilliant. You drink together, you eat together, you chat, you have the banter, you have the fun, the jokes, the crack, as you guys will call it. And it is absolutely, for me, it's what makes, I've had 2 jobs since I've started working ever that I've ever enjoyed in my life. And this is the second one. And I wouldn't change it. I wouldn't change it at all.
And as you said, it's the social aspect of it, people. That's kept me in it for so many years because I need that. I'm very bad on my own thing personally. I need to be around good people and happy people. And as you said, no matter how long the shift is or how hard it is, could be like, as you said, 16-hour shifts, 12 days in a row. But 2 things, your body kind of adapts to it. So you get kind of used, in that moment, you get used to like 3 or 4 hours sleep. And then the people around you, it's like you could wake up very bad kind of, but as soon as you get into that dealer's room and you see the other faces and you have that chat, it gets you buzzing for the day again.
Well, that's it. I mean, as I said, I've met so many weird and wonderful people, and they've probably met a lot of weird people when they've met me. But it's
I'm not saying that.
well, you know, great minds and all that. It does. It gets you through the shift, knowing that you're not in it alone. There's another 20, 30, 40, 50, X amount of 100 dealers that are in it exactly the same as you. So as unhappy or as happy as you'll be, the person to your left or right is going to be in the same boat. The person you're rooming with, they're doing exactly the same as you. And as you say, when you get into the dealer room in the morning, half an hour before the dealer meeting, everybody's like, oh yeah, getting the coffee, getting the Red Bull, getting a little bit of quick breakfast in. Listen, we're all doing it together. We're all in this together. Nobody's out of it. We're all in it together, sort of thing.
Yeah, so there was one funny story in particular. As you all know, a dealer and player on the Irish circuit called Simon Tsang has sadly passed away this year.
Yeah.
He got COVID actually. Like he was a massive personality. Among the dealers and among the players. I love doing events with him. I shared with him runs in a few of the Goliaths, and I just loved being around him. He made me smile every time I seen him. So I'd be having the worst day ever. Could be like a 17-hour shift, and then I get back to the hotel and he'd be in the room and he just had me in stitches straight away. Even during work, I'd go out for a smoke and he'd be out there and he'd have me laughing, and it could have came off, the worst table ever, a table of people not putting in their antes and that sort of stuff. And you go outside and you'd be pissed off and all the rest of it, and then Simon would be out there and he just cheer you up. So there's one story now. It was in the Goliath, and we were in a dealer meeting at the start of the day, and the DC at the time, which is the dealer controller, for all you that don't know, was saying to us that the hotel were onto her because a couple of dealers have been acting up in the rooms, whether it be smoking or whatever, I don't know. But she couldn't pinpoint who it was because dealers were changing rooms because they wanted to change to their friends' rooms and all different things. So she was like, if you've changed rooms, you have to let me know because I have to know who was in each room. So dealers were kind of a bit nervous at the start, and they're all putting up their hands saying, "Yeah, I changed rooms, I changed rooms." Like, she's like, "It's okay, I just need to know." So at this point, kind of Simon's half drifting in and out of of what's going on. And then she says it again. She says, "Did anybody else change rooms?" And Simon kind of half puts up his hand. And then, like, we were all looking at him as though 80 dealers looking at him saying, "Come on, Simon, say something clever here." And he's like, "I think so." And she was like, "What do you mean you think so? You either changed rooms or you didn't change rooms." And he was like, "Well, I was in the side event room and now I'm in the main event room." And the tension broke. Like, 80 dealers just fell down laughing. Even the DC who was trying to, you know, keep firm, she ended up breaking out laughing as well. So, yeah. And then Simon was like, "Shall I just leave now?" Or
It was actually
it was one of them classic moments that just, you know, at a time where everyone was like, you know, tense, he just cheered the whole room up.
Broke the tension.
Yeah.
There was another. He was a diamond. There was another story that I remember from Simon. He had came off a table. Now, dealers all know that when you come off a table, a lot of the time you go to the DC, you'll tell them what table you've came from. And I'm sure he had came, and obviously the DC was trying to organise stuff, and it was the same DC. And she had said to Simon, "Where are you from?" And I'm sure he said Dublin, as opposed to what table he came from. And everybody just fucking pissed herself. And again, the same, the DC Danny couldn't contain herself, because it's not that he meant to be, like he was trying to be the man about town. That was just the way it was, deadpan. He thought you were asking a serious question. Now, if he meant it, it probably wouldn't be as funny. But because he had this kind of knack of being in the right place at the right time.
And I was trying to think, half the times it looks like obviously he meant it, and another half the time it's just like, so that's cool. But he was so natural at it. Like, I remember at them gigs, I was behind him in checking out, like getting paid, and you have to go into the DC and you have to tell her your hours, and then she'll tell you if you're correct. And and I was always a disaster with that, because I didn't have my hours ready of how many hours I got, and she hated that. And Simon was the same. He went in and he didn't have his hour. He didn't have a clue how much he worked and stuff. And she was getting really angry at him, shouting at him and stuff. And anyway, they sorted it out. But as he was leaving, she shouted, "Toy," you know, for his toy.
Yeah.
And he turned around and goes, "No, I'm Chinese."
And that's the thing is, I mean, I know God bless him and his family, and he will be sorely missed, but it's people like Simon that made and still do make the job that little bit easier and more enjoyable, and reason for turning up. Because listen, I don't say I've got that many friends within an X amount of mile radius, but I also always find it enjoyable. Even if there's that one or two people out of 100 that you know, when you see them, you're going to give them a big hug, a big high five. You're going to sit down and have the laughs and the jokes with them. And it was people like him. I mean, I could rattle off numerous names of people who you sit there and you may not look like you're enjoying it, but inside you're like, "I'm just so fucking glad you're in my life." And it's just, there is people like that out there.
And it's something that's very hard for all of us now to not have had that for so long.
100%.
I think everybody just wants to get back, like, to a big gig like the Norwegians. As hard as money is at the moment, not necessarily for the money, but just to be around that, like, for your mental health and everything. Just to be around people that you're familiar with, people that you know are happy to see you, and that's a massive thing at the moment. That's really missed now, I have to say. It
is a hard time of it. Now, poker wasn't what you wanted to do at the beginning. We spoke about it, and we're going to go more in depth about it, and this kind of ties into the mental health awareness issues that we're trying to, as a team, bring to people's fruition, to highlight that within the poker world, the last 12 to 14, maybe even longer months-wise, it hasn't been a bed of roses. COVID has highlighted that there is an issue, as I said, within the poker world, whether you're a dealer, whether you're a player, you're a floor commentator, etc., etc. Now, we're going to go back to the beginning of Keith Connolly, as it were. Now, as I said, you don't want to do poker at the beginning. You wanted to very musical person.
Yeah. So I was brought up in Artane, which is home of the Artane Boys Band. For those that don't know, it's they call it the biggest little marching band in the world. It's a marching band that play in Crow Park every Sunday for all the Gaelic football and hurling matches. So I started at 8 years old, and they came to my school and they played on stage, and I just looked up and said, yeah, I want to do that. So I went down there, and I think I said at the start I wanted to play the clarinet. And the instructor came up to me and he looked at my mouth and my teeth and he said, "A player." And I was like, okay. It must be because of the size of my lips, I don't know why, but yeah, he's like, you're a trumpet player. So he gave me trumpet, and on from there, it was a 5-day-a-week thing. Well, 6 days including.
What age were you at this stage, Keith?
8 years of age.
8 years, okay.
Yeah, so even when I went into the summer, that was kind of the Gaelic football season, so we'd have to play more so. So during the school year, I'd be in school till 2:30, 3:30, and then I was in band for an hour and a half from like 5:30 to like 7 o'clock. And then during the summer, I was still 5 days a week in the School of Music could have been anything from 10 in the morning up till 3 o'clock every day, practicing and then playing on Sunday. So I think I had like only a few weeks of my summer actually, because I'd be in the band most days. So it was a big part of my life. I done that up until I was 17, 18.
And then you wanted to go to, was it music college?
Yeah. I went to a music college in Maynooth. Was one of the colleges I chose at the time. So I done the entrance exam. Then I done my practical for the Leaving Cert, and then I done my Leaving Cert. Then my Leaving Cert exam started, which is like the GCSEs over there or whatever. It's like, sorry, Mel's going to be Troy.
That's all right. That better be what?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because if it's no, you can pass some this way.
So I done my other exams, not very well, all the English and Irish and that sort of stuff. But I was mainly focused on my music exam, and that was the last exam. I think it was like a week after every other exam. You had a week's break, and then the music was on.